Have you ever seen the show Silo on Apple TV Plus? I know it's not exactly the most popular streaming service out there, but I think they offer 3 months free if you buy certain Apple products, or in my case it's included free with my cell phone plan. I don't think I'd ever watched anything on it until Silo, though. I got interested in it from the first time I saw the trailer. There's a tagline associated with the show that immediately piqued my interest. This is what it says. We do not know why we are here. We do not know who built the silo. We do not know why everything outside the silo is as it is. We do not know when it will be safe to go outside. We only know that day is not this day. I like a good mystery story and I like sci-fi, but those words are what really drew me into it because it made me wonder if the story is an allegory for us. I don't really know much about the writer of the story, Hugh Howey. Apparently the show is based on a series of books, but I don't know what the writer's worldview is of the real world. But that tagline just gave me the impression of someone with an agnostic worldview thinking about all of us. Is the silo an allegory of Earth? Or the people living in the silo an allegory for us? From an agnostic worldview, it sort of sounds like that to me. Though, to be fair, I think even if you come from a religious interpretation of how the Earth was created and where we came from, that tagline might still apply for a lot of religious people. Some religious people might not really understand the creation story, or aren't sure if it should be taken literally or not. Even among those who devoutly believe what they believe, may on occasion question those beliefs. That's what I'm getting at here with the tagline. The first line is, we do not know why we are here. From an agnostic worldview, and maybe even from some people's religious worldview, they don't know why we are here. Why were we created? The second line is, we do not know who built the silo. Again, from an agnostic worldview, you wouldn't know who or what created the Earth. The third line is, we do not know why everything outside the silo is as it is, which is to say, the environment outside the silo is dead and toxic. And I'll try to avoid any major spoilers here. In fact, as of this recording, I haven't even finished watching the first season yet, so I don't even know everything that happens yet. But anyway, the environment outside the silo is toxic, or at least that's what the people living in the silo have been led to believe. But isn't that also true of the environment outside of Earth's atmosphere? Leaving Earth's atmosphere would be toxic for us without a suit or craft capable of creating an artificial environment that maintains oxygen levels and temperatures we can survive in, which is the same thing the people in the silo do when someone goes outside. I won't say too much about that to avoid spoiling anything, other than to say it's apparently rare for anyone to go outside the silo, and when they do, it's typically to clean the camera lens that shows them the outside. On the inside, people can see the outside from a big screen that looks like a window. I think the people know what they are seeing as a screen and not just a window, but the way it's set in the wall makes it look like a window. The last two lines of the tagline say we don't know when it will be safe to go outside, and we only know that the day is not this day. And I guess that could kind of be true for outer space for us. We know we can't go there without a craft and spacesuit, and even with that, you can only stay up there so long. I guess we don't really have any expectation of outer space becoming an Earth-like environment we could travel through without a spacesuit, but some people like Elon Musk do have aspirations of going out further into space and colonizing Mars. But I think we're so far away from being able to terraform Mars, and I'm not even sure it is possible. Building a colony that is supported by Earth is one thing, but terraforming another planet is another. I don't think people even realize how difficult that really is. Just trying to get the oxygen saturation right would be a monumental task, because it's not just not having enough oxygen that is bad, but it's also possible to have too much oxygen. Too much oxygen in the atmosphere would also be toxic. As they say, everything in moderation. Trying to terraform another planet to have just the right oxygen saturation would be difficult enough, never mind other issues such as not getting as much sunlight, growing food, having water, etc. So anyway, all of that to say, we don't know when people will go to Mars. All we know is today is not that day. So yeah, those few sentences just gave me the impression of a writer who was writing a sci-fi allegory for us and our history. Though, now that I've been watching the show, I'm not sure if that's what the writer was going for or not. As I watch the show, I feel the show is depicting a communist-type society where there are a lot of strict rules and censorship, and most of the people follow the rules and shy away from questioning any of the established rules and beliefs of the society about their history. People are only allowed to reproduce when in sanctioned relationships, and apparently only people the government deems worthy are even granted permission to reproduce. Most of the people seem pretty docile and just go along with all of it. Despite celebrating a Freedom Day in the first episode, the people don't even seem to be aware that they really aren't that free. They literally live inside a big silo and basically have to do what they're told, but I guess they somehow still think of themselves as free, because it's all they've ever known. The backstory says Freedom Day is a celebration victory over some rebellion that happened over 100 years ago, I think either 120 or 140 years prior to the time of the show. I can't remember now for sure. But people aren't supposed to ask what the rebellion was about, or why the rebellion was squashed. They're just supposed to be glad it happened and celebrate it every year. And I don't know if they ever find out what the rebellion was about, because I haven't finished watching the show yet, but I hope they do. So I'm going to keep watching to see if they figure that out, and figure out why they can't, or at least aren't supposed to go outside. So anyway, have you ever watched the show or read the books it's based on? What do you think about the tagline? Does it sound like an agnostic worldview allegory of Earth and humanity? For me, I have a Christian worldview, so I think I know where we came from. I might not know all the specific details about how we were created or how long ago it happened, but I'm generally comfortable knowing that we were indeed created by God. We didn't just, magically explode into existence. But for a non-believer, I assume they must think we don't know why we are here, and they don't know why Earth is here, only that they can't leave Earth. So what do you think? If you leave a comment, please don't spoil any major plot points. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Thanks for listening.